Hello, hello. Getting started with our instructional services. We're talking about 6 through 12. While we're here together today, the hope is that you're going to walk away knowing just who is doing what. What do things mean? What do these words mean? Especially when it comes to your role and the responsibilities that go along with it. We're going to take a look at the teacher experience. Very important for you to know where is that information? How are you going to monitor progress? There is an internal email inside of there that the students can connect and ask you questions and refer to information. And so I want you to know that that's there. And then we're going to take a look also at that student experience. So what does it look like for the student? How is that different? Just in case you need to assist them in getting in and moving through and knowing where their resources are. First off, talking about those two systems, we have two places. Our first one is that office or the ILVP or the Genius. This is where you're going to monitor. You're going to track attendance. You can send progress reports, emails. This is where you can respond as students, to parents, all in that internal messaging center. You also have your options like your school email, but I want you to know what all is in the system in case you need to use it. Second, we're going to talk about that classroom, that learning management system. This is where you're actually going to be able to get into the content, grade student work, and be able to allow or assign retakes, redos. So inside of here, you'll notice some different verbiage, and that's mostly because we just want to keep people in the right folders or the right buckets. So if you happen to notice a program lead is quite honestly your admin. So you're talking principals, coordinators, anybody who would do that big picture admin type of things. They can perform all of
Hello.
the
Hi,
parts and
bless
pieces
you.
that are inside
We
the program.
are
You're also going to
starting to get
hear
in. We
us
found out.
say mentors sometimes, and you might see a mentor tab. Mentors are often the people who are helping. They can add a student, they can enroll a student, they might be monitoring or helping with something. So, your support staff, your counselors, this person can also be what we call associated with a student so that they can help to monitor that student. And then teachers. Teachers can also enroll. They're going to be able to edit students. They can run reports and view all of those grades. When we look at logging in, we've talked about two different places. So you're going to notice the Edgenuity, the LMS, the courseware side, and the office, which we talk about school services or the ILVP. Lots of words. Promise we're going to use them a lot so that you can see and know which ones are which. But if you logged into the ILVP, which is your office, this is what you saw when you logged in. When we log in, I want to show you a few steps before we actually start clicking around together. So first, when you open and log in, this will be your first page. Now, you might notice that yours looks different than this right now, and that's just because you don't have students enrolled and working. But this is your dashboard. The dashboard is nice because it gives you just quick hits of data and information immediately about um, are they on pace to finish on time? Is their grade high enough to be passing? And are they active? Are they in there and working? Those three circled pie graphs then drop down into that line graph so that you can see it over a distance in time. Last thing is down in that bottom right corner, which is what we call the watch list. The watch list is a nice little feature that allows you the chance to be able to see if any student gets behind pace by 10%, below a passing grade, or is inactive for a week or more. This is really nice because those little bits that you see here turn red. And when they turn red, you know something's wrong. And you can see that student in that course so that you can do whatever necessary, whether that's emails, phone calls, check ins, so that you know that these students also know you're watching and you know what's going on as well. Across those top tabs where you start in that dashboard, that first one that looks like this, but you'll always notice that there are spots along the left-hand side that have different options inside of that tab. One of the other options in the dashboard is edit my account. When you edit your account, you are able to do things like change your favorites tab, what tab opens first. You can change your phone number. Make sure it's the phone number that you want for any other person, a teacher or a student to contact you with. Also, you have a little space for your bio. Give them some information about you, your office hours, your open hours, when they can contact you, when you are considered working, and last down at the very bottom, your signature. So in case you end up using that little internal messaging center, you have a little signature on the bottom. All of this can be done in that edit account in the My Dashboard tab, and then you click Save at the bottom. One thing I like about this is in the ILVP, when you hit Save, you don't have to know whether it worked or not. You're going to get a green check if it worked. You're going to get a red X right underneath that save button if something is wrong and it didn't work. That's nice because then you know whether you're good to go and moving on or go back up, something got missed. Any questions on the logging into the ILVP, taking a look at the My Dashboard, and being able to edit your account? Everybody doing okay? Anyone able to, if you're logged in, be able to see that and to move in there? Edit that account? Anybody? Oh, thank you. Yes. I love interaction. So if you want to do a thumbs up and changed your password, Joe knows better. We can't keep all our passwords as the same. Well done, sir. Awesome. Okay. +1, Joe. All right.
Actually, that's a good
so
question.
then
What is
from
resilience?
here, you can also click across the top on
You've hit on
the
a question that
teacher
we get a
tab.
lot from
Now, I know it's
our
not the very
audience,
next tab,
and that is,
but
can
the
technology
teacher
be
tab
used
is where you're
well
going
in
to
a
see your
classroom?
own
And how do you
name.
observe that?
And you're going to be able to look in there for monitoring, progress monitoring, as well as viewing your students all at once. Okay. So when you click on the teacher tab, you can then click on your name. Now you're going to get it, and you're still in the teacher tab, but your left-hand side's going to change. When you do that, you're going to see where it says academic, and it's going to say current enrollments. This current enrollments place is where you're going to be able to monitor all of the students that you have and see big picture, their grade, their progress, their pacing. You could check on their activity, how recently have they been active, all of that.
Sorry,
Yes,
can I add to that?
yes, of course.
Just to say this is where you're going to live. Current enrollment is where you're going to live for your data. Just so you're not overwhelmed with what reports I need to monitor, that is where you need to go. Current enrollments all day, every day.
I
Sorry,
love it.
just wanted to add that.
Yep. I like it. It's a good plug. I like it. I like it a lot. Yes. So she is exactly right. This current enrollment space, it can give you up to 40 different pieces of data all at the same time. And you get to maneuver and change them and make them in the order that works best for you. So when we do that and you click on current enrollments, you're going to get this large yellow area. That's honestly just for searching and filtering. But most of the time, unless you have something very specific, you're just going to want to see all your students, and they're going to show up underneath that criteria, that search area. The biggest one, though, is when you're in this space, all the way to the right, below the search area, but above your columns, there is a little space called Customize Columns. You can customize your very own columns. You can, again, change what you want to see. You can rotate and move them, and you can do all of the fun things with your data. Casey, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be looking at because I just started. That's a great point. And so we do have what we call a recommended list. If you want to screenshot that, I'm going to send it in an email later. But if it's something you want right this second, you're welcome to. This is nice because this allows you to at least get a starting point. Okay, for those of us who kind of lived in here before, what would we suggest? We suggest sections so that you know exactly what it is they're taking. The actual and overall grade is very nice because you're going to be able to see a difference there. Your overall grade is mastery. Simply, how are they doing on what they've done so far? That actual grade takes into account, okay, you're supposed to be doing certain things every day to get done on time. If they get behind, that actual grade basically puts zeros in for what's not done that's supposed to be. Now, no worries. There is no penalizing. As soon as they catch up, they get all of the credit. It just comes, and then those overall and actual will be identical if students stay on pace or above or ahead. Okay, those are really nice. Chris is letting us know we show the actual grade is what students will see on their dashboard. Wonderful. Thank you, Chris, for telling us that. Actual is nice just because some students notice they have a 90%, get really excited, and then forget to work for 3 days. And then that 90 is not a 90 anymore. That actual grade helps them to realize that they're going to keep on moving. Pacing is nice because, again, they do have a pace and a percent that you want them to be completing so that they finish on time in that 18 to 20 week window. You have attendance for the last 7 days. That's that one where you can take a look and see if a student hasn't been in for 2 or 3 days, it's going to show you right there. Last activity, same thing, another attendance measure to help. The performance indicator is a favorite of mine. I have a place I'm going to show it to you later. It's color coded so that if a student hasn't started yet, that performance indicator is red. And so you can see within those first few days of school who is actually logged in, who is doing what they're supposed to be doing, who is getting started, and who hasn't actually logged in and started yet. So that helps you to help with to know that communication piece right from the very beginning. Enrollment, student email, so you can contact them. Enrollment start and end date helps because then you know where you're at inside of that classroom course period. Last sync, the ILVP, the office, and the LMS, the Edgenuity, they talk to each other only once a day at night in the evening, 3-ish in the morning. This is really important to know so that you know if a student comes to you at 3 p.m. and says, I just worked my tail off today, you're not going to be able to see it in here unless you check that last sync. You might have to resync them. You can actually sync a student anytime you want. It's really no big deal at all. But just know that it only does it automatically each night. And so that last sync will help remind you, oh, that's why I'm not seeing all the amazing things you did today, because I need to sync the accounts. Last is the LMS link. The LMS link is nice because that's going to get you into their course so that you can take a look and you can grade work that needs to be graded, check any kind of attendance that you want to get really down deep into some data. That LMS link is going to be really helpful. Any questions just talking about this current enrollments, the recommended columns? Anything you see in here that you're wondering about?
Almost equated to Casey, some background, like we have Skyward Student Information System. You can go in there, you can look at your grade book, you can email students, and you can do some pieces in there. So that's kind of what you just showed. And then the LMS link links you out to like a Google Classroom. But in this case, it links you out to an Edgenuity course.
Perfect. Yes, you're exactly right. I love it. Making connections. That's how we do things. I love that. When you have data, it's going to look a little like this then. So your student name is going to be over here on the left. It's going to then, just like I showed you from the recommended, this is what it looks like. Some people prefer graphs over values or vice versa. You actually have both options for all of your grade metrics. So if you are a person who likes the little color-coded lines and that helps you to see it faster than being able to see the numbers like this, you actually can pick your overall grade as a graph or a value, and you can pick your actual grade as a graph or a value. So those are nice to know. And this amazing performance indicator right here. So this shows who has not started. The red means they have not logged in and started working in their activities yet. This person right here with nothing, good to go. They're no issues. They're on task, on target, and passing. And so these other letters mean different things. P is for pacing, they're behind. E is for engagement, they haven't logged in and worked. And M is for mastery, they're not passing. And so you're going to be able to see those letters and know that there's an issue that you might want to check in on or dive deeper into. The other half, because that wasn't quite all of the list, it doesn't fit or it gets too small on the screen. So this is the back half of that same customized columns. So this is where you're seeing the start and end date, seeing the student email address, being able to see the last sync exactly, and that LMS link. Nice part here, being able to see this is a normal day, looking at that LMS link. This is an LMS link with an alert. This alert lets you know when something is in there that needs graded. They've turned something into you. And so that is really nice to be able to see. All of that is in your customized columns. This, again, that big, huge main place where you can go to your teacher tab, click on your name, and you're able to see all of your students in all of your courses, and be able to see and check everything from, are they engaged and working? Are they passing? And are they going to finish on time? Attendance-wise, all of that sits in this current enrollments report. So it really is, like Jillian said, it is the place. Questions or thoughts on it before we talk about the next little piece?
I have a quick question. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
When you pulled up that the last screen with like the different letters on it and stuff, is there like a key for what those mean? If we don't
Yes.
know? Like, sorry, I'm kind of flying blind here, so
It
just
makes complete sense.
yeah, just silly
Yeah.
question, but there is a key, right?
Yes, sir. It's going to come to you in an email. I'm going to send you literally the customized columns recommendation and the performance indicators right there with you as soon as we email after we're all done, and our recording, sorry, I couldn't think of what it was called, gets done uploading. I'm going to send all of it to you. You're going to have it, bookmark it, hold it, and then you're right. It's no big deal at all. It's odd. Like, what does that mean? But once you get going and you're working for a while, it'll make sense, but you'll always have that to look at too. It's a great question, Adam. Definitely. You can email your students, send out a bulk email to all of them. It could be reminders on tests. It could be reminders on due dates. It could be reminders on a day off that school isn't in session. It could be a reminder to get going, to finish up, whatever the case may be. But you can email students in bulk inside the ILVP in your office system. And so that is really nice to know that you can utilize that so that you don't have to go over and create a group inside of your messaging center. So from bulk email, you are able to click on which students or hit the top select button and click absolutely everybody. And then down below your current enrollments, you're able to click on this button that says bulk email. So right there, you're already in, you see some issues, or you know they might need a reminder. You can choose your students and bulk email them right from there. When you do that, it's going to look like this. It shows up basically like a little email, very simplified one. You can create a way to automatically put information in. So you actually have options to say, okay, put the student's first name in, put in this message that I want them to know, put in my signature, and you can do that, or you can just type it up yourself, either way. There are ways to create templates inside of here. I won't get you all quite that deep. Okay, some are using Gmail, so definitely there are benefits to both. Yes, you are exactly right. Both systems for sure. When you send that email and maybe that student responds, across the top in our tabs, we have a messages tab. And you might notice if a student messages you, you're going to get just that little bubble with numbers, just like we would get in many places when we have notifications or new messages. And so just so you know, if you click on that messages tab, it looks just like a very, very simple email. The bold messages aren't read yet. Once you click on it, it's not bold anymore. You can archive. And so this is just so that you know you have an inbox, a sent box right here inside of the system. If a student happens to be in the ILVP and have a question, they might message you through this. If a parent or guardian has an account, they're able to as well. So it's there. You don't have to use it, but I do want you to know that it's there and how it works, just in case. Questions on the messaging tab and being able to do those bulk emails and that just simple email messaging center. Awesome. Beside that messaging center is the help center. The help center is orange. It's the last tab in the top row. This is an amazing, amazing little tab because this tab is going to take you to it's going to open up a new tab, and it's our help center. It has absolutely anything and everything from how-to articles, screenshots, short videos, all of that sits inside of our help center in case you're doing something and think, I'm not sure about this. Click that help center. You have a search feature, so you could just type something in and search it, but it also is all sitting in there organized. So then you might actually go digging and you just want to go see. All of that is right there and available. That's a great question, Frank. Linking the email in here and the school's email. Last I knew it was not available, but if Jillian, Michelle, if you ladies know anything different about being able to link the two spaces or the two email accounts, but I haven't heard of that availability at this point. But it is a good note.
That
I'll
is
try.
a good note, but I haven't heard anything like that.
We can always ask, Frank. It's always. If we ask enough times, we get things accomplished. My old mentor teacher called it Chinese water torture. That's what she called it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm running it.
Awesome. All right. Okay, so from here, we've been in the office this whole time. We've been doing a lot in there, but I want you to be able to know and see Edgenuity. And what does that look like? What is their LMS where they're doing their course and they're actually seeing everything that they're doing for you and your content. When you log in, this is what your screen looks like. It might not be identical. Sometimes the little picture, that dark blue picture isn't there, just so you know. But this is what we call our homepage. Okay, so on your homepage, this is where you're going to see across the top all of your different navigation drop-down menus. This is also where you're going to be able to get to all the way to the right, your email or your messaging center. In your initials, all the way to the right. This is nice where you have your little initials, because that is where you can check things like your help center for Edgenuity. So we actually have so many help centers that they all have their own. So we just talked about the help center in your ILVP. Your Edgenuity has a help center as well. so that in case you wanted to find out more about attendance log, right? You could do that. I get this error. Directory not found. Okay. Has anybody been able to log into the Edgenuity?
You have to log in to Edgenuity separately. When you're looking at your students' records, then it will take you right to Edgenuity. But you have to log in separately if you want to go look through your account. And I have created an account for everybody who put their name on the list that Chris gave me. I'm just working on a few ILVP accounts.
Oh, wonderful.
Michelle, is this the right link that I'm putting in the chat to you for them to
Yeah.
go directly to
Yes,
the
sir.
learning management system?
Yes.
I just put it into Michelle in the
Oh,
chat.
I see it. Yes. It's correct.
Okay, then I'll
It's the
put that
same
out
one
there.
that Casey just posted.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, she's got it. Yeah. Thank you.
No worries. Yes, thank you. So when you click on the auth.edgenuity.com, it's a long one, you are going to get it looks very different. It actually gives you a space for the student login and the educator login, because that's how Edgenuity looks. And so you make sure that it says educator, that there's the blue line under educator. Put in your email for your username. Your password is Imagine123, unless you changed it, right, Michelle? Does that sound right?
I'm sorry, I was typing to Chris. What is it?
I apologize. The password for Edgenuity is also Imagine123.
Yes, until
Unless
they
they've changed it.
Yes.
Awesome.
And I think I've got everybody in Edgenuity except maybe one person
Awesome.
that was added.
Amazing.
But I'm working on it.
No, you're fine. I appreciate you so much. Okay. So there are two logins. When, like Michelle said, when you just want to go in here and look at things, maybe you want to take a look at something with the content, or you want to take a look at the attendance log. That is when you would need that auth.edgenuity.com/login. That's because you're not going through to a specific student. Now, once you have students enrolled, that is where that LMS link is going to show up in your current enrollments. You click on that, that's going to take you here as well. But it will take you via that student's account. So that it's different. It's a little confusing when you're first getting going, but that click path, that, oh, I can log in whenever I want to do whatever I want. I just click on it, bookmark this, and I go in. Or, oh, I'm going to go through my student, I'm going to grade their work. I can still get in the program. I can do whatever I want while I'm in there. But that LMS link is going to help to get you there as well. Thank you. When you are in your homepage, we have all of the amazing parts and pieces from all of your menus across the top, some quick buttons to get you different places. But then you can also then just go in and go to what we call manage courses, and you can view your course structure. So maybe you really just want to see, right? You want to see your course. Course structures help, because if you at any point want to see, okay, what's the outline? What are the activities? I want to check out some of these videos. What resources do they have for the course? All of that is inside of the LMS, inside of Edgenuity. So you can do that quite quickly, easily, once you're inside Edgenuity and you want to go into where it says courses. Sorry, there we go. This is also where you're able to manage or look at your students. So in the students area across the top, we talked courses, we talked students, we can manage our students. This allows you to see what courses they're in, This is also where you can get in and get very detailed about one specific student. So you want to see that student's full progress report or their full session log, meaning you want to see how many activities have they done, what grades did they get on every single one of them, how many hours, minutes, seconds did they put in each day, what class did they go in. All of that information is going to be in that managed students area on your Edgenuity. So you can come in here and get to that student, select that student, and be able to look at any of those pieces from here. The ILVP, a big, huge, amazing monitoring area. It's just more of that overlook, big picture kind of look. This would be, I want to see how many assignments has he done and what percentage did he get on those grades as a whole out of those 10 assignments. You're going to want to go in here to this managed students area so you can get into their progress report. You can get into their session log. This is also under managed students, where besides seeing the students, your active students here where we just were, you can create a class. Creating classes is nice because you can choose your students, create a class, pick them, put them in your class, and then you can sort and filter by that class, meaning that you'll be able to say, okay, I want to see the progress, just an overall progress for all the kids that are in my class. This could be based on period 1, period 2. This could be all of algebra, all of geometry. You get to decide how you want to organize and view and watch your students and monitor them. And so making classes really is a nice little spot. This is an example where you could pick your
Just
what you want.
Casey, just a
Yes.
quick jump in there.
Yeah,
You know,
please.
many of these teachers will just be teaching one class, some just with
Gotcha.
5 or 6 students, but it's nice to know that you can manage your own classes and put kids in just kind of like a grouping tool, but
Yes.
really not that relevant to them, I don't believe.
Awesome. Thank you. Good to know. I'll leave that at that. So this is how you add classes. And if you ever want to talk, we can tell more about classes and user groups. But for now, it sounds like this might be just more information to put in your brain. And so we'll move that one on. One
Yeah.
of my favorite places. Oh,
And
go
we'll
ahead.
be also managing enrollments from the district perspective too, as well. So,
So they
just
probably
trying to
don't
give
need
you,
this, like that
what's
data
that?
hit.
I'm sorry.
This one, would they need the manage enrollments area? Would they use that for info and data or no? You think?
If maybe data they want to look at, but really they're facilitating students going through the virtual courses and supporting them, where the course is really the full blown, delivering the content, where we're here supporting, making sure they're doing work, checking up on them, editing the course content if need be to meet the needs of the students for IEPs, or maybe other circumstance that bring kids to virtual learning.
Nice. Okay. Chris, are any of the, oh, he's already got it. There you go. Thanks, guys. You guys are amazing at this. Hello. Okay. So he talked about customizing those enrollments. And if you are a person who would be in a position where you would have to say, okay, I have a student who has accommodations and needs some changes, it is doable, completely doable. We do it in Edgenuity. This is where you would be able to click on the student's name in Manage Students and be able to see what courses they're enrolled in and actually customize those courses right there. Okay. Again, that's going to be based on permission. It's going to be based on who is supposed to be, who needs to, but know that this is exactly where you will do that. One place that if you have to go anywhere at all, every single day, besides jumping into the LMS, or sorry, jumping into the ILVP, looking at your current enrollments, it's going to probably be your dashboard. You're going to want to take a look at what we call our alerts, the areas where students might get stuck. They've graded, turned something in, and it needs graded by you. And so really quickly, we're going to take a look at that just so that you can see. If you happen to notice, oh, okay, so Chris, can I ask you a question? Would they have students who would get blocked by tests and retakes?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So one thing I want you to know is that if you're in the dashboard, all the way to the left after students are in and enrolled and working, you're going to see a little alerts area. That alerts area gives you 3 possible alerts. If they don't have any, that means they've got nothing, no alerts going on. Red alert means that that student took an assessment and tried for as many times as they could, and they're out of retakes. At that point, their grade is still not passing. They need to be told in the program to decide, okay, do they take that score and move on? Do they need to redo the entire thing? Are you going to do something with that student and then modify that grade yourself? And so you've got some options in there. The orange alert literally just means that student is at a test and they need that test unlocked so that they can take their assessment. Last one is the yellow alert. So the yellow one with the square and the pencil, that means they had turned in something for you to grade. So that at that point, it doesn't stop them. They turn that in and they keep moving in their course. The other 2, they're actually stuck and waiting for that test to know what's next or to be able to open it and take it. But that yellow, they can turn in something like a short writing, an essay, and then they can move on and continue working. You also have a grade book inside of Edgenuity. So in case you want to see their scores on several activities or tests in a unit, you have an option for that inside of Edgenuity. You also have what we call an attendance log. So the attendance log is going to allow you to see how those students are working, hours, minutes, seconds, and going to show you if they've taken any assessments that day. So you'll notice some of these say things like 3Q, that student worked for a total of over 2 hours that day and took 3 quizzes. The nice part is that once you do that, you can click on that student's name and you can get even deeper in there, which is what we see here called a session log. The session log is really, really nice because, okay, they were on for 2 hours, but what were they working on? You click on that student's name and they're going to be able to see, you're going to be able to see exactly what time of day and how many activities they finished. And if their work was active time or activity time, meaning they were in an activity and they were moving forward and working toward end goal, toward progress. Review time, which allows you to see if they were in the activity, but they were maybe rewatching a video or they were going backwards, they were rereading something, they were in it. Maybe they were writing a piece and they were going back in, or they were reviewing, studying for a test. You're going to be able to see that as review time. And then you also see what we call idle time. Idle time allows you to see this student was not working in their activity. They were not moving forward. They were not in something where they were going backward. They literally had not gotten into an activity yet. Now, this can be okay. This can be they are looking at their grades. They're checking their e-notes, which is out on their course map area. They're looking in their report. They have a report called the course report, an amazing report that allows them to see every single thing they're supposed to do and when they're supposed to do it. And so they might be doing some amazing things, and that can be considered as idle. However, going to the bathroom and not coming back for a half an hour is also going to show you as idle. So both of those things, just so you know, that is an option or a possibility. You also have what we call academic integrity. So if you're looking at your attendance log and one of your little boxes is red, that means that that student worked faster and got more done than literally time could possibly happen. We keep track of those because as we are working for the best we can for academic integrity, this is where they might have purchased a bot, or they have some extension that they have working on things with them. And so you're going to notice that and know what's going on. Over all the way to the right, you're also going to be able to see with that academic integrity, be able to notice things like a plagiarism check and an AI detector. The plagiarism checker is amazing. It tells you exactly all of the different websites. It links them so that you can click on them and see it yourself. The AI detector, it is good. And it gets better every day. But sometimes you have things like a student might copy and paste in their essay from a Google Doc, and it will catch part of it because you copied and pasted the whole thing. And so never take that, what it says, as a full grade or taking or docking. But just know if you see that, then you know something is happening. You click right on that button and it gives you the report where you can look through it all. You're still the professional at the end of the day. You still are going by your district policies. And so this is just a tool to help you. Thank you, Chris. That's awesome. Chris just let us in on the handbook for AI use statements. Thank you. That's really important. Anytime across the top, once you have clicked on a student, so if you're in Edgenuity right now and there is a student in there, whether they're taking a class or not, if you've clicked on that student, you will then see that student up here in this little golden student. The golden student, quite literally, is just the last student's account that you were working in. What we found was teachers would complain and say, I was in doing something and then I got distracted and I needed to go back and I've got all these clicks to get back to where I was. That's what the golden student was made from. So you can actually click right on the student or view their progress or a session log or any of those things and immediately get to that instead of needing to go back through the whole path to get there the way you might have the last time. I want to show you, so that was our side, right? That was our ILVP and our LMS, our office and our classroom. But what does that look like to the students? Because it does look different. And so I want to show you what the ILVP and Edgenuity LMS look like for them so that you know what that's going to look like for them as well. Their login is the same. When you log in, it will look identical. It's the exact same website. And so it's going to look like this. But then once they're in, this is what their ILVP looks like. They don't have all the tabs across the top like we do. They have just one, and then they have all of the options that come down their left-hand side. This is nice because from here, they can get a ton of information down that left-hand side. So the very first one was that snapshot. That's where they actually click right here on this snapshot. This takes them into Edgenuity. So they come in here, they check their messages, they look through things, and they click on which course they're going to.
Casey, just a point. We leverage Clever integration, so they won't be going to the same exact website, but it would look similar. It basically has a Google badge on it and things like that. But we'll take care of all that. But basically, they look what the rest of they see is exactly what Casey's showing you.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So they just log in with their Google accounts, teachers. Again, we'll handle that with a welcome email. Welcome to, Wilson Virtual Academy. Here's how you get started, blah, blah, blah.
I love it. Single sign-ons are so nice. Then you don't have to worry about any of that. And it's a wonderful little thing. Okay. When they log in and they see that dashboard, they click right away and go into their course. or they have all these options down the left. So one of them is the messaging center. Looks similar to yours. Very, very simple email. So where they're going to get little dots if they have an email or message from you. And then they can see those emails once they click on it, just like us, the bold, and then they're not bold once they look at them, all the fun things. They also can take a look at their course information from here. So this is going to be where they see you as the teacher. If you want to put your picture in to your ILVP where you in your edit account, if you want to put your phone number, your email address, your office hours, a booking link, all of that stuff can go into the ILVP. That's going to show right here in your course information so that they can see you are their teacher for whichever class that they're in. They also, as they go down, have another spot that's called an academic snapshot. This gives them an overall view of how they're doing in their course, as well as these little course cards that give little hits of data and little color-coded grade activity pacing, just like we have across our dashboard. They have it in their snapshot. The student activity area is where they're able to search and look up how many minutes they did in each course for whatever period of time they're looking at. So if they're looking at a week or a month or however long, they can put that in the search criteria area, and then they're able to see how they did and what they did in minute-wise in each course.
Yeah, it's important to stress minutes there because sometimes I look at that, I'm like, oh my gosh, what does that number mean? So it is in minutes. And that's a lot of times when we get kids that aren't performing and you've given them an email and you copied the school counselor and the assistant principal or principal on the student just not making any progress. This is a report we go to just to kind of dig down and show that, hey, they're just not doing anything.
Awesome. Yeah, this is a good one. Knowing that you have a clever integration, the edit account, they're not going to be able to do anything because their password is single sign-on, so that's not a thing. So when they see edit account, they're not going to have anything there that they can edit. There is an add guardian area. So in the ILVP in that office, you could put in parents and guardians, but they can also put in themselves. So from the student side, the student could sit down with mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever, and click on that add guardian, and they can put in their own information. From here, if they put in their name and address, they can have a guardian account. They can see how the student's doing, the grade, the progress. They cannot get to the student's coursework, but they can get to this ILVP so that they can check on their students whenever they feel they should. So back to that top, to that dashboard where we can take those links, just the name of each of those courses, links them there. The nice part is it doesn't matter which one they click on, they all take them to the exact same place. So they don't have to come back here once they've been through the office, they've checked in and done their things. When they click on whichever course they want, it's going to take them into the LMS where they are going to see all of their courses on their homepage. So when they click on any one of those, it brings them here. This is their homepage. This is where they can see very quick hit of data and see what their courses are, what their actual grade is, and how they're doing at the moment. From here, they click on whichever one of those tiles they want to go to that to work on that course. That's going to take them to what we call their course map. Their course map is nice because the course map gives them tons of little pieces of information. Over here, all the way to the left, the little graph, this is where they get all their grades. They can check all their grade metrics, see what their grades are on any of them. Right above that is where we call their e-notes are saved. So they can actually write notes while they're watching their videos and doing their activities and their things. And then they save them and they come out here and they sit in that little area. All the way over on the other side across the top, this is where you can see their course report. This is that report. It's a long one, but it is definitely worth noting because it tells them every single little activity they have to do. All of these little pieces are in this PDF. It tells them when they're supposed to do it based on their start and target date and about how long it's going to take them to get it done. Best part, as they work, it fills in the course report. So that means that after they finish this, it will show finished. It'll show the date and how long it took them. Every single thing that they do does that. And it puts it into that course report so that in a month, they're going to be able to see, you can see, parents can see, okay, what did you get done? How long did it take you based on and compared to what it was supposed to be? And so that's a really nice piece of information as well. When they click on one of those tiles, one of these long rectangles, that is going to take them actually into the activity. Now they're in and they're doing their activity. They're learning, they're working. The video is in the middle. Accessibility tools sit on the left. All the way to the right, you're going to see a plus. This is their resources. When they click on that, it opens up. This is where their e-notes can be typed and saved. This is where they have a glossary of all of the words for that lesson. And you can hear them being said, and the transcript. And the transcript breaks it up into the sections or parts that go with this little area down here. You'll notice if instruction is supposed to be 20 minutes, it's not one long 20-minute video. It is chunks. There are usually 10 to 15 for that 20 minutes, each of them only taking anywhere from 20 seconds to maybe 4 or 5 minutes, where that teacher is going to walk through, talk through things, show them, and then they're going to have to do something where they are going to have to answer and check in and see if they're getting it. This is just a look at the translation tool. If you have a student who needs text translation, up in the top right corner, they're able to change their language. That is going to allow all of the words to change into that language. One thing to know is that the video itself is not going to change, but all of the words, including all of the words like the transcript in the resources, are all going to change into that. I am also going to stop right here when we talk about the accessibility tools that show up, like being able to highlight. They can change the speed a tiny bit. If they're in a course that needs a formula sheet or a calculator or the Desmos graphing, it will show up over here in the accessibility tools. But they also have down here at the bottom a chat with a tutor feature, so that they can check in and talk to one of our Imagine Learning employees who is truly a tutor. They're anytime a student has a question, they're taught to ask questions to try to elicit and remediate and help a student understand. The e-notes, once they come back out, if they click on that little e-note area, it keeps them all neat and organized, tells them where they did them, each of the different e-notes, so that they can go and study them later. There's a look at that dashboard I talked about, so that students can see their grade and how they're doing. They can also see their session log from up in their profile. So when they come up to their little initials bubble like we have, they have their profile in there. In there, they can actually see their attendance. Just like we see their attendance on our side, they can see it as well. So they can take a look, parent as well, can see exactly what time they were in, how many activities they got done, how much of their time was idle. All of that is accessible on their side too. That was a lot. How's everybody doing? Orientation video, yes. It's a good thing. It helps, and it's only, I think it's 6 minutes, 6.5. it just walks them in after they've logged in. Where are things? How do you know, where do you click? Because we know that even though students love technology, it's different when it comes to classes, and they're not always going to click around. And so the video is a really nice, quick video of this is always what you can do. This is where your notes are always sitting. This is where you can check your grade. And so it is a really nice feature that they have available to them anytime. They have it in their ILVP all the way at the very, very bottom. It's called external links, I think, but that orientation video sits in there all the time. So even a week in, something's going on, maybe they aren't doing real great, they're not using their resources, they could go back and watch that video again anytime to remember, oh yeah, I have that, I forgot I had that available, I'm going to go use that. Questions, thoughts? You guys are doing great putting them in there, and Chris and Michelle, I love how you guys are just jumping in. Thank you.
I do have a quick question just about clarifying the sign-ins. And Chris, is this going to be the same sign-ins we had last year too, or do we have to have new ones?
Sign-ins to these
Yeah,
tools.
into Edgenuity and the two platforms.
Yeah, they're two separate because it's a whole different company. They just happen to use the same software, right? So
Okay, so if we had stuff from last year and it was defaulting to that, those won't work. We're going to need new sign-in logins.
right, but they should be different links you're going to. So the link that we're sharing,
The links that were shared in here was connecting me to the same platform from last year. It was
because they had
defaulting
the
to my
same.
stuff from last year.
Gotcha.
So
Tim, I
that's
think
what
we worked through that too as well with on the back end. So we can probably work with you, Tom, to get that fixed.
Okay. Thanks.
Because yours not working, you're saying?
No, and then I'm trying to type in with the new password, and it's still saying it's not working. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering if it's because I have the old system from the past couple
Yeah,
years.
you're not going to use that password anymore because it's a whole new system we're logging into, and that password doesn't work anymore. So Michelle on the back end will make sure yours is working, and we'll kind of talk through email or something to tell you when it's ready.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah.
I will look into that one for you, Tom, okay?
And
Thank you.
Tina
Lindsay-
Line is saying the same thing there.
yeah, said the same. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and don't feel too overwhelmed with all this. It's one of those things that, okay, this is great that Casey's showing me this, but I'm probably absorbing 10, 15% of it maybe. It's going to be, okay, now I have a class. Now I got to go do this. And that's when you're going to learn it too as well. Yeah, Frank, it's your full at share.wilsonsd.org email should be the username, unless you're like someone who's been in Edgenuity for other cert, because we've had Edgenuity courses since Deb Chestnut, so there's a lot of people that have random things too as well. So we're still having some trouble getting people in.
Okay.
So Michelle will work on all that stuff too as well. If you did work on that doc that I sent earlier, I don't know what happened to it. But we'll get it fixed.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. So here we are at, okay, that was a ton of stuff that you just threw at me, Casey. What are we going to do with that? So some things to know, right? That student log in, when they come in, they're coming into the ILVP or the Genius, the office. That's going to allow them to get to their courses. They had to get here to get to their courses. But then they're also going to be able to check their grades, check their activity time. They can email a teacher, see your open hours or when you're available for them to connect. They're going to be able to see all of that here while they're inside of there. They also can really create, hopefully, right? The parents, guardians can create their own accounts to monitor their own student progress and attendance, so that you're not doing that as well. You can, it's on our site as well, but they can with their student.
Yeah, in case you just add to that, we send an email out to parents to say, hey, welcome, blah, blah, blah. And part of that welcome is email will be instructions on how they can add their parent or guardian email to the system so they can track what their students are doing.
Oh, great. Great idea. That's a good one. That customized column, so that email, when I have the recording and all the fun things, it's going to get emailed all back. I'm going to send you a reminder on to how to customize. What do we recommend? What's at least there to get you started? To be able to click on that customized columns, be able to put those in, set it up the way you want it to be set up. So there's that. I'm going to send that to you. Adam, you asked about the performance indicators, a little cheat sheet. I'm going to send you this. This is letting you know what each of those are and why they happen, right? So I already said the red one, they haven't started yet. So, but the other three, okay, wait a minute, which one was what? This will help you to know that you see the letter P, it means they're 10% or more behind. You see the letter M, their grade's below 70. And you see the letter E, and they have not logged in for a week or more. Grade breakdown, we talked about. Your actual grade is what the students see big, but the other ones that you're going to be able to see on your side, just so that you know the differences, that overall mastery, we talked about that actual gets lower with zeros if they get behind, but as they catch back up, no penalizing, just put in those grades and they get back up to where they were for their overall. The relative grade, if you happen to notice relative grade includes zeros for everything that's left. So basically you start out, we call it the drop grade. Everything is a zero, and as you do your assignments, activities, your grades get put in. And so it starts at zero and goes up very slowly.
Yeah, and just background on that, we used to have overall grade shown to students, and last year we changed that to actual grade. That helped out a lot because kids are like, oh, I got a 94. Well, it's 94 on 3 assignments, and you have 50 to do. So the actual grade is what kids actually will see shortly when they log into Edgenuity now, not the overall grade. So that's a little bit more relevant to the pacing. And then the relative grade is that one where you were in college, like, do I really need to study for this final, or can I get away with getting by?
I love it. Yep. That's a good one. Knowing that you probably won't need your user groups and classes just because you're going to already have just your little group of students. You're going to be able to monitor them in your ILVP, in your office spot. But that's an option that we could always talk about if you ever need them. That dashboard is always important because you're going to need to know, okay, is that student stuck? Do they need a course test opened? Did they take a test? They did not pass it, and I need to take a look at and review and decide. Or do they have things they turned into me to grade, and I need to grade that so that then that grade gets put in as part of their grade as well. A nice little blip of info on the dashboard. You can notice that if it says 0 and it's red all the way at the end in progress, you know that that student is behind, which is nice. You can click on the course and find out what it is that they've done and what they are needing to do. So again, we talked about those alerts. Quick, just reminders, right? Knowing you've said so much today, Casey. Knowing that those alerts, to check them every single day, because orange alerts, you might have a student who is stuck at a test and cannot move forward. A red alert telling you that they've tried to take that assessment, but they have not passed it yet and are wondering what they're stuck and wondering what you're deciding what they should be doing next. And then that yellow to they've submitted work and moved on, and you're going to grade that and get that turned into them. You have that attendance log and your session log inside of Edgenuity, so you are able to see Sorry, somebody come in. You are able to see all of that over on your Edgenuity side so that you can see all the amount of time, hours, minutes, seconds, how many assessments, click on their name. You can get really deep into their activity time, their review time, their idle time, how many activities they're getting done on the daily, normal. You'll be able to see all of that in your Edgenuity, in your attendance log. Sorry, all of a sudden it's glitched. There we go. You have that gradebook feature in Edgenuity in case you want to be able to take a look at scores for tests or quizzes or just all activities for a specific unit or a specific group. And in Edgenuity, you can view your course structure. So you're able to actually click on courses and manage courses and see the course structure. You can see the scope and sequence standards alignment. You can look at the videos, the activities, the test banks. All of that sits in your course structure area. This is a spot if you're very interested in your course standards or the standards alignment. All of that also sits in your course across the top in your courses area. So if something you're really wanting to know more of the structure, it is all there in case that's something that interests you. One thing to know, we do have, and Chris, I might ask you if you are using the lockdown browsers with
No,
your.
we're not currently
Okay.
using.
Okay. So we won't worry about that at the moment. There are options for lockdown browsers, and so, but they're in the system and able to be used or not, depending on what works best for you guys. All right. So hoping at this point, you are feeling like, okay, I know I have an ILVP that I log into. That's my office. This is where I can see students. I can enroll the students. This is where I can also go to my current enrollments and see all of those pieces there. I can use that messaging center if the students message me, or if I decide to, I can send those bulk emails, all that fun stuff. You also then have that student side, so you can see what it looks like for the student. That's always nice because then you can help them as well. One thing I would love to show you, I am going to take a look and get in here. Bring this over, sorry, excuse me. One thing I wanted to show you in your students, so I've moved out of Edgenuity. I've moved back into your office. You have a students tab. Oh, it kicked me out. I let it sit too long. There we go. In that students tab, if you have a student who says, I can't get in, I can't do what I need to do, in that students tab is where you have all of your active students. When you see that whole list, you can search if it's really, really long, or if it's not, you can click right on that student. This is going to take you into what all is in your office, basically. What all information do you have in here? Right here, you have a log in as user button. This is nice if you have a student who is, something is not right, they are stuck, they swear something is not there, of course, whatever. You can log in as that user. Know that if you do, that you are logging in as them and it is keeping track of your time as them. So just to know that. Beside that is sync with LMS. You have a student who says, I did all of this work today, and you would like to see it on the office side, you have a link with LMS button to link that students to Edgenuity, to ILVP, so that they'll talk to each other. Then you'll have the most updated information.
Yeah, Casey, this is good stuff with the sync with LMS. Just to reiterate that there's maybe they just finished a quiz in Ingenuity. It hasn't come over to this system over here yet, and that's a way to force it. It happens probably every night, I would guess.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and then the login as user, generally that's something like my office does, or if the kids are having trouble. So we don't expect you to dive in all the time when kids are having trouble, but it is nice to know that that is there. So if they do need urgent help, you're able to do that too as well.
Awesome. Okay. Wonderful. At this point, I'm kind of at a place where I would say, feeling like, Chris, we've gotten through all of the amazing things on the agenda. Questions, comments, concerns, or additions that you see so far that you would love for them to know that we did not?
Yeah, I think you went through like modifying courses. That's really one of the bigger things that
Okay.
teachers may need to do. A lot of times we have a kid like broke his leg and he took half the course in person, and now we have to remove some of the course for that student. Or, maybe there's some SDIs associated with their special ed IEP that we need to make some adjustments to the course too. So that would not be done in that, be done in the LMS part.
Mm-hmm. Let me just a sec. Sorry, it also logged me out.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. From here, that is an amazing. I'm glad because we showed that in just in screenshots, talking it through. But
Yeah.
it
Seeing it
really
live helps a lot.
yes. So when we're in our students and our managed students area, we have a student. We are able to click on that student, and that is going to give us the list of classes. Let me show you in my little area where I can play around and do things and it won't bother anybody. Students, manage students. I go to that student and I click on their name. And I have this list of all of the courses that my student is enrolled in. Now, at this point, maybe you're just customizing this. Maybe your student has just one, right? Algebra, but you need to modify that for them. This is where you can choose that course and you can customize that course. When you do that, you're going to get, and it's going to say up at the top, you're customizing the algebra course for the specific student. You're going to be able to see every piece of every activity, every unit, lesson, activity, and they're going to have a little check mark on it. If you don't want that student to do that, so they spent a month and they've done unit 1 in class, you come to that question or that check mark and you literally click on it, and it's going to turn off everything in that unit. Now, let's say I don't want just that whole unit. I just want this specific lesson. So I click on the check mark in that lesson, and it's going to turn off all the activities inside of that lesson. Or maybe the student has an accommodation to not do the short writings. So you would be able to click on activity type and come over and say, okay, there's one in math, they're called performance task writing, where they have to write out. I can click on that and it's going to find it wherever it is in the list, and it's going to turn them off so that you don't have to scroll down every single bit and try to find them yourself. This is nice because once you do this, all the way at the very bottom, you have a publish course button. When you click that, you're going to get there it is, a pop-up that says, okay, wait a minute. If you change this course, you're going to add or change content for this student. And so this might change where they're at in their progress. If you say publish, then it is going to take what you've done and it's going to give that student that new course published, ready to go with any changes you made for them.
Just to add to that, basically they have whatever 300 assignments for an Algebra 1 course. You just removed, maybe there's 12 units, so you remove 12 performance tests. So basically now instead of 300, now we're down to whatever that is on 288 or whatever I said. But you're affecting the number of assignments, which affects the pacing throughout the whole course too as well. So many times we have requests to remove summaries and reviews through an SDI and an IEP, like I put in the chat there. So that ability to be able to filter by type is really nice, because I know many of our teachers have done that by hand and removed all the summaries for each individual unit, not knowing that filter is, hey, I want to filter out all the summaries. And then basically you can uncheck that and it removes all the summaries from the course too as well, to speed up your work instead of going through individual pieces of removing. Now, sometimes that does happen, depending upon the needs of the students. Virtual world is an interesting animal when you're talking about students and students' needs. They're all over the place, from really, really sad stories to really crazy, awesome stories too as well. We have a pro snowboarder that just won a junior national championship, a couple of years ago. Like, pretty crazy stuff that we're able to do for students to be flexible like this too as well. But we also have the other end. We have kids that are really struggling to get by and needing different supports, obviously, too, as well. And that's really the role of our teachers, is to support those students no matter what they need due to, their personal circumstances too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Well said. From that publish at this point, so I went back so that we could go back just to see this again, and I happened to turn on the off the summaries, and then I could see then that they got turned off, that they moved through and it turned them all off, and then I could go down and I could hit that publish course again, and it's going to give me that same, know that these things are going to happen, and you hit publish, and then it's going to give the student that new published course that you just made for them. Questions, thoughts? Did the students receive a message that things have been changed? That's a great question. Not that I'm aware of. They won't know. They literally don't. They don't see the difference at all. I mean, unless they actually paid attention and knew that they had done a summary and now they're not doing them anymore. So on our side, nothing is ever deleted. So you're going to be able to see this turned off. On their side, these literally aren't even there. They don't even know that they've been taken out. They don't even know they exist. So they just see what's check marked. And if it has the circle with the slash, it's just not even there. They don't even know it.
The main way that they notice that, Frank, is either this is a communication through an IEP team meeting, and we work with the family, so there's some communication on that end many times before this happens. But then when this does happens, they see also their pacing changes, their grade changes, the number of activities change. So they do see the effect of that. And that's generally when the kids notice it, like, oh, my grade went up. And why did that happen? Oh, I have less activities. But not a lot of kids are doing that either, for sure.
So, Mac, the idea is to wait and see if we need to make these alterations, or if we get an IEP right up front day one and we know that we have to go in, we can go in and do that, but otherwise just kind of hold off on things.
Yeah, if it's in the IEP as reduced content, you would check with the caseworker, maybe what does that mean in the virtual world? And if they're not really sure what that means, because maybe it's new to them, generally that's like our first step, is like we can turn off summaries and we can turn off test reviews to lighten the load a little bit. But obviously if the IEP says something different and that case manager has a different idea, then we follow what they say too as well.
Thanks.
Mac, question here. Considering the course structure and dropping things, what's the expectation like in a science class where if I go through and look at the structure now, because I had to do it for a certain student, but that was because it was in the middle of the year. but starting from the beginning, what's the expectation on like physical creation labs and like versus virtual labs? Like,
Well,
are these students, you know what I'm saying? Like all the ones that are like actually build something with a rubric and a device and all this stuff, like where are we going with that?
yeah, well, the courses are built so they can do this stuff virtually. So we are, I mean, ideally, we want the kids doing labs and hands-on stuff, but it's not an ideal situation when you're talking virtual and having equipment
Well,
and things they need.
well, that's what I'm talking about. Because if I look in my course structure, I see there's a egg drop project. I don't think you're doing that virtually. Like,
Mhm.
so is that something we should just click off immediately?
Yeah, unless you feel like it's a huge piece that the kid needs,
Okay.
and maybe we can make adjustments for it too as well. Because remember, the whole purpose too as well is to get these kids the standards and the same thing as an in-person class. So if it's essential learning, that's again why you're running the course and not me,
Okay.
because you're the human in the middle to make sure that the kids are getting what they need.
Understood.
Yeah, and that's again why we're trying to develop our in-house courses, because then we have say on what is important and what type of modes kids can work in, as you know, developing your own Schoology course.
Chris, do you know when the students will be populated in all these platforms?
Yeah, because of the fact that we just turned the switch back on from Skyward and the schedules aren't finalized. Until this finalized schedules, that's when we get the list from Skyward and then enroll all these kids in these courses.
So if we don't have a Skyward class, were the Skyward classes for WVA assigned to the teachers yet?
Yeah, the ones that were previously BVA/WVA teachers, you are still teaching those same courses. You didn't like get fired. These
Yeah.
are the people that are getting kind of put on this team are to support the other courses that were offered through
No,
a virtual
yeah,
teacher that wasn't Wilson.
the reason I ask is when I go on my Skyward now, there's not a WVA class in there.
So that probably
So,
means that they just haven't enrolled kids in the WVA courses yet, or you just don't have a kid at that grade level taking a virtual course
okay,
yet.
that's what I wanted to know.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm
Mac,
looping back to everybody this week just because everyone's hair is on fire right now with this Skyward turnover. Um, so please give Lisa Brown, Aretha King, and Denise a little bit of graciousness, as well as Jess Schmira and the IT department. I mean, I came over the weekend to work out on Saturday and Sunday because I didn't get to work out this past week too much. And Jess Schmira's car was here the whole time down the IT department all day Saturday, all day Sunday. So everyone's really working hard to get this right, but it's just not that easy to do in such amount of time. So just some graciousness here. I know you guys are chomping at the bit, but just a little perspective on there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes by a lot of good people. And that question, Sonia, was a good question to me directly. She put in there, will it be notified if we get a course? Yes. After this training, people had to do some virtual job interview we have to look through. But as soon as we kind of get through the 17th, we'll be turning around that list of, hey, we have students in this course. Would you be willing to teach it right in the beginning of the school year? As courses get added throughout the school year and dropped, as anyone knows who's taught virtually, that animal changes constantly. So we may need a course and we're like, hey, can you teach this course? And then 3 days later, IEP team says, never mind, we're not doing that. I'll be like, forget it, we're not doing that course. So it's definitely an animal that always changes. So we could need a course in 2 weeks from now or 2 months from now. So again, thank you for doing this to be kind of considered for this, because we do need the teachers to support students and give them flexible paths to graduation is the idea here.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, sure.
Any other thoughts, questions? Whether it's for us or Chris or all the mixed together?
Yeah, it's a lot for those who are new to this, but for those who've been on board, it's not that difficult. It's one of those things you tie your shoe the first time, you're not successful. The second time, you get that first loop done. Third time, okay, now we got it. So it does take a little bit of time to get used to it, but it's not rocket science by any stretch of imagination, and we'll support you through this too as well. If you do get a new course, don't feel like you're by yourself. That's why my job exists. And why
I have a
Casey,
quick question.
yes, go ahead.
So I think I'm able to log into the Edgenuity system with using the suggestion that someone in the chat gave, like my email and the Imagine 123, but I can't get off of the screen. I can't find a place to click off of the like intro screen that shows you the new features.
Oh, so did you, it like a pop-up?
Yeah.
I
And
had
there's no
that problem as
X
well.
anywhere.
Tina, I had that problem as well. Hit refresh, and then a very tiny little part of the bubble will appear that you can
Maybe
X out in the
Okay.
top right-hand corner.
Yeah.
if you're on a smaller device too, control minus, sometimes like the stuff doesn't fit on the screen, it gets cut off. That might be a little tip too, but thanks, Diane. That's helpful.
Yeah.
No, wait, I'm hitting refresh and I'm still not seeing an X.
You won't see the whole
Control
big X. It's like a very bottom of the circle in the top right-hand corner.
Oh yeah, and there's not a. Oh, okay, got it. Thank you.
No, look at that help. Man, oh man, that's good synergy.
I love it.
Just good karma there you
Very
just
good.
got, Diane.
Yep. I have noticed in Edgenuity there are a few boxes that are just bigger than the screen, but they don't give you a scroll down. And so I'm like Chris, where I end up having to hit control minus or zoom out to be able to get the box down to where it's supposed to be. And I don't know why some boxes do that and some don't.
And these Genius is the platform it's being used. Genius Student Information System is what is being shared on your screen. So it's just like, a Skyward type thing. And we have Chromebooks here as teachers, and sometimes things that are especially older software, like Genius is a little bit older, it's been around for a long time, that they don't cooperate sometimes with Chromebooks because their massive audience are PC people. So that's where they built that stuff for back in the day before Chromebooks were around, really. So control minus is my go-to, and like Diane said, refreshing too as well. So sometimes a little quirk of working on a Chromebook.
Great, guys. Anyone else?
And Casey, you feel pretty comfortable that you've covered all the content you need to cover with everyone today?
That's at least what we had planned. Yes, being able to see the teacher side of both and the student side of both. And then that little bit of customizing, which I'm going to put a mark in and make sure that Cheryl knows to go to customizing as well.
Perfect. And as we always know in education, just because like someone said, teachers get paid a lot when they, doing a tutoring session, you can make a lot. And like, yeah, but you have to prep for that. Like there's time beyond that. So we understand that if you do get a course here, you're going to be spending plenty of time outside these hours you spent with us here today. So I'm fine with cutting this out early, Casey, if you're good with what you've covered. We have a recording too as well that you can check back with later. But more help will be coming out too as well with videos and things like that too as well.
Definitely. I do. I'm feeling good. If everybody else, anybody willing to put forth like on the chat or something, how you feeling? How you doing? What do you think?
And again, on that form, please put 3 hours because we know you're going to be putting in more time to this too as well.
Oh, bless your heart. No.
As long as you don't tell my boss. Oh, that was on recording. Delete that from the recording, case.
Deal.
I furiously in the background. I think everyone is taken care of for their accounts. Okay.
Thank you, Michelle, for all that work because that's a lot of hopping and hauling there.
Absolutely. I was glad to do it. But you know where to reach me if you need anything else. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'm here. If anybody has questions or thoughts, feel free, whether you want to put it in the chat or you want to say something. But if not, just know that if you're logging in, you're getting comfortable, I'm going to send you an email soon, probably tomorrow, by the time all of the fun Zoom recording uploads to the cloud and all of the fun things to give you all of the resources. But you are always welcome to ask questions. We want you to feel really good about what you're doing. I like the improvements. Thank you, Greg. Yes. So glad. Take care, guys. Thanks a lot. Good luck. Chris, if you think of anything else, just let me know.
No, I think that was good. It's just, the fact that you don't have a course and you don't have kids and
Yeah.
just makes it a little less like, how do I play with this stuff when I don't have anything to play
Yes.
with as well?
Yep.
Stacy just asked a question.
Which password, Miss Stacy? Are you in the one that looks like my screen right now, or the other one? This one.
And feel free to unmute if you need to, Stacy.
Yeah.
If that's helpful.
Okay, I'm on that one right there. The welcome to, yeah, and then I went up to my initials up there. Yep, update my info. And every time I try to put in a password, it says, please enter a valid email address.
Ooh. Now, does your email address show up in the email area?
Yes. Yes, it does. And it is my correct email address.
That is odd.
And
Okay. So
that's how mine is too as well.
That's an interesting. Okay, Stacy, let me see background wise if I can figure out why.
I think
Yeah,
I
I tried
just
to share my screen, but I can't.
Oh, yeah.
did you fill in the password and re-enter a password?
I did. Yep, both of
And you
them,
hit
and they
save
matched. I
educator
tried
and it
multiple times.
because I did that earlier today and it worked. So maybe there's some glitch.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because it seemed pretty straightforward. I couldn't do it.
Right.
Let me stop sharing and then I'll be able to let you share. Would that be okay? Or would you be willing?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. Because then I can get a screenshot of it as well and see. And I can send it to our tech team and say, okay, why is this happening?
And Stacey's very tech savvy, Casey. So
I love it.
something else is probably wrong since she has the same looks like mine, what mine looks like.
Nice. Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, see, I put my
Oh.
passwords in there. I say save, and this is the message I get every time.
Click in that email field. Is there like an extra space in that one, the one you can click in? I'm just guessing because that's weird because I don't get that.
That's a good. Ah, ha, ha, ha. That's what it was.
Oh, nice.
He's so good at this.
It's just experience.
Thank
I
you.
pulled out my own hair with that before.
Right? The small little things.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
goodness.
right, perfect.
Awesome.
At least I was doing it right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Perfect. All right. Well, then, Mr. Chris, I will see you again sometime soon.
Yep.
Feel
Thank
like.
you, Casey. Appreciate it.
And if you think of anything, questions or thoughts, or something you happen to be doing and think, oh, I would really love for them to know this, let us know because we'll add it in and get it in there.
Okay. Sounds good.
Awesome. All right. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Casey.
Have a good one.